What's going on, people? It's Gunsrar from NextGenTactics, and I'm bringing you a Call of Duty Black Ops weapon demonstration mini-series. Each video will showcase a specific weapon using only iron sights, no attachments, and no kill streaks to ensure that the video demonstrates the use of the weapon only. At the end of each video, I'll provide my personal opinion on the weapon and make recommendations in terms of attachments and in some cases perks and equipment. The Skorpion King, yes. You know what, this is one of my old-time favorites in Call of Duty 4. I absolutely loved using the Skorpion. It was the most underutilized weapon of the SMGs out there. And in Search and Destroy, the Skorpion with the silencer on it was absolutely king of the beasts. And I'm glad a lot of people didn't use it, because or else it would have caused a lot of problems. It was deadly accurate with almost zero recoil. The only problem was the short clip size, and it's no different in Black Ops. When using this weapon, iron sights is fine actually, and I would actually recommend, again, sort of like Call of Duty 4, is using a silencer on this weapon. Normally I would say don't use a silencer on it, but really, I mean, if you look at this weapon here in terms of range, it is the worst range out of all of the different SMGs. It's a 2-bar range. Although that can be misleading because, again, as I've said before, if you pulse fire any weapon, you can increase the range and accuracy of it. It's all in control. But the problem is that when you're using an SMG, and they're all fully automatic, the point is to hold that trigger down and hope to God that whatever's in front of you will drop. So, I mean, you're going to pulse fire once in a while, but generally you want to avoid medium and long range shots. You want to be going on the move. This is a run and gun weapon, like basically all SMGs are, except for, of course, the AK-74U, which is ridiculous, but we'll get to that one soon. Now, in terms of the Skorpion, the iron sights are actually really effective on this. And although they're not like your typical sort of round iron sight with the X marks the spot or the little spine that sort of sticks up, it's so easy to line up your targets with the Skorpion that you don't need any other iron sights. They're flat, and you get used to them. But what it lacks in range, it makes up for in its accuracy. Now, it's actually tied with the Caparis and the PM63 in terms of accuracy. So those are the top 3 SMGs in terms of accuracy. The other advantage that the Skorpion has is its damage. The damage on the actual Skorpion is the top in all of the SMG classes. If you take a look at the damage count on it, it has the most damage, even above the AK-74U. However, the other attributes of the AK make it more of a balanced weapon, an overall better weapon. It's kind of like an in-between an assault rifle and an SMG. Kind of unfair, which is why a lot of people tend to use it, and a lot of people call it a noob weapon. Other than that, it is probably one of the most ideal weapons to use. Now, I've always loved the Skorpion in terms of its power. If you are good and you know the maps very well, the Skorpion will not let you down. The damage on it and the accuracy, if you've got someone in sights right in front of you, you are going to drop them. The damage is so high in a 1v1, plus the actual fire rate on it is average. I mean, it's not the top, but it's definitely not the MP5K. So that, coupled with the actual damage rate, makes it one of the most lethal SMGs out there. But again, similar to Call of Duty 4, incredibly underutilized. Now, in terms of attachments, number one, you want to avoid using grip. It's complete overkill. You do not need to use that. As I said before, it's tied with the top 3 SMGs in terms of accuracy, and using grip gives you one more advantage. Really overkill. I mean, there's almost no kickback on this weapon to begin with, so avoid using grip. The 2 that you want to consider using is extended mag or rapid fire. Now, again, rapid fire, you're gonna want to make sure that you're right in their face. If you're really effective at running around and you know the maps well, then I definitely recommend using rapid fire. The other one that I would recommend, because of the range reduction, although it's accurate, you're going to go through a lot of bullets, and therefore extended mag is going to help you. And the reason for that is because of the range. As soon as the opponent sort of reaches that medium range, even if you're holding it down, even if you're pulse firing it, you're going to go through a lot of bullets, and you're going to want to have that extended mag around, especially in that sort of intermediate distance there. Short range, no need for it. But again, We all know that it's a mix. Until you know the maps really well, I would definitely suggest getting extended mag. That being said, if you're going to use either one, I highly recommend that you use scavenger on this. You're going to go through bullets like crazy. Even if you don't know the maps very well, I do not recommend using lightweight with this weapon because, again, you're going to have a lot of missed shots. The accuracy in the beginning might be a little bit low until you get used to it. Finding out where the actual sweet spot is in terms of range is going to take some time. You're going to have to get used to it before you can just go out there running like crazy. Definitely use extended mag and or rapid fire. Well, you can't use or rapid fire coupled with scavenger. Now, in terms of perk 2, because of the accuracy again, avoid using steady aim. Again, it's just overkill. You don't need to use that, and it's a waste of a perk. Instead, use Sleight of Hand Pro. And the reason why I'd say use Sleight of Hand Pro is because the fact that you're going to go through a lot of weapons. You're going to be reloading a lot. That, in conjunction with using Scavenger Pro, is going to be your best bet when using the Skorpion. Now, as the last one, in terms of perk number 3, there's 2 thought mentalities, and it's usually the same thing. If you know the maps well, if you want to be sort of sneaky, use Ninja Pro. I mean, obviously you're going to want to unlock Ninja Pro, but use Ninja so that you're sort of a little more evasive and you can get away with a little bit more when you're running around. However, the fact that you're probably not going to use Silencer on this weapon until you're really good at it, you know, using Ninja Pro is probably a waste of time. You're going to be constantly on the move with this, so your best bet in this particular case is using Marathon. Marathon or Hacker. Hacker because a lot of people in this game use Claymores, and if any of you have come across it, the Claymores in this, although, you know, in Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2, the laser lines that you would be able to detect normally, even just visually without having Bomb Squad on, are almost non-existent in Black Ops. So you run the risk of getting killed by a Claymore when you're on the move. And because one of the most effective strategies when using the Skorpion is to be constantly on the move, you do run an increased risk of running into Claymores because you're going to be moving a lot, going through a lot of doors, and you're not always going to have that opportunity to check every single corner. But as you can see, I mean, I'm not using it here, but I kind of more or less know where most of the Claymores go. As that guy friggin' knifes the crap out of me, but nonetheless, you can never avoid all Claymores. But in the beginning, if you're not sure where people are placing Claymores or where sort of well-known popular spots of Claymores are, then, you know, it's probably a good idea to put on Hacker. Other than that, put on Marathon so that you can blast around these maps. You're definitely going to want... Oh, look at this. Just playing with this guy a little bit. Once in a while, the Joker in me comes out, and I gotta just play with these guys. When they do foolish things like that, it's like, you know what? I'm going to have to embarrass you. Either, you know, sometimes it's fun to teabag them and then kill them so they can watch the kill cam, but, you know, the whole point, I knew I was recording this for the purpose of doing a weapons demonstration, so I was like, alright, whatever. I'll just get in front of them, give you guys a little bit of a chuckle, and we'll move on. But as you can see, with the Skorpion, I mean, it's just as good as any other weapon. I absolutely love the iron sights on this. From Call of Duty 4 days, it has a special place in my heart, but mainly I would use Silencer. In this particular game, Black Ops, I don't know why, but the Silencer really kills it. It's probably because they made the range on this thing absolutely low, which is probably reflective of the actual weapon itself. But that being said, I mean, you've got crazy differences in terms of weapon capabilities. I mean, if you look at the Skorpion and its attributes in comparison to something like the AK-74U, well, no wonder people are using that weapon all the time. This weapon will take quite some time to get used to, but I promise you, if you do get used to it, you'll end up friggin' loving this weapon. There's almost zero recoil when you're using it. Now, there's the range. That's what I'm talking about there. The range... It can be problematic, especially with this weapon. Even though I know how to use this weapon, you still want to make those shots. But extended mags definitely is going to help you on this one. You know what? One more thing I totally forgot. In terms of the attachments, there is one on there that I would totally recommend using it on the Skorpion, which is dual wield. And the reason why it's actually effective, and I would normally avoid it, in this case here, because of the accuracy, because it's so high, dual wield is actually not problematic. It takes away the versatility in terms of using the iron sights and making those long range shots. But again, if you're just pure running gunning, dual wield on the Skorpion is pretty friggin' epic. Well, that's all she wrote. Thanks for watching. Get the latest updates and stay in touch with the NGT community with our all new Facebook application. Check the description of the video for details.